Well, a top focus on world DNA is from Japan. An investigation is underway to determine as to what led to the crash between a Japan Airlines jet and a Coast Guard plane at Tokyo's Haneda airport,
where 5 people were killed on the Coast Guard plane and all 379 people on the passenger plane survived the collision. And this is the moment when the fiery crash took place. The Japan Airlines Airbus A350 burst into flames as soon as it landed and collided with the Coast Guard plane.
There were 6 people on board the Coast Guard plane. 5 have been killed. The pilot managed to evacuate. He has reportedly suffered serious injuries. The Coast Guard plane was supposed to have helped with earthquake rescue and relief operations. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida has expressed condolences on the death.
この方々は
These people had carried out their jobs with a strong sense of duty and responsibility for the disaster-stricken areas and victims. This is a very unfortunate incident, and I would like to offer my sincere condolences while expressing my respect and gratitude for the sense of duty.
その使命感に敬意と感謝を
On the other hand, all 379 passengers and crew of the passenger plane were able to escape in time, and experts say a flawless evacuation and new technology played a large part in their survival.
In an evacuation, ideally you want all of the exits open, you want all of the slides to deploy normally, you want everyone to get down the slides rapidly. It appears to me that door was not used in the evacuation, so that's even more remarkable.
Officials are now probing as to what communication took place between the passenger plane and air traffic control at the Haneda airport. The airport was closed for several hours after the incident. It is one of the 2 main airports serving the Japanese capital. This crash happened during the New Year holidays, one of the busiest periods for travel in the country.
Now, for more on this, we are now joined by our correspondent Chris Gilbert. He's joining us live from Tokyo. Now, Chris, the evacuation of the Japan Airlines plane has been praised as a success. But now tell us about the investigation that has been launched into what really happened and what caused the accident.
Yeah, so the Japan Transport Safety Board is immediately beginning its investigation. It actually began with Japan Airlines, the company itself. Immediately after the evacuations took place, one has to feel for the 12 crew on board who effectively saved everyone's life on that plane under extreme circumstances, and then had to go straight into interviews with company execs and investigators while they were still reeling from that. But the Japan Transport Safety Board is being joined by experts from the UK and by France for a thorough investigation into a number of factors. Japan Airlines says that it had permission to land and that the landing of that passenger plane was normal, but questions still remain about how it came into contact with the Coast Guard plane. Experts are saying due to the nature of the incident, radar evidence, the black box witness reports, physical evidence is all readily available. So it should be a relatively easier subjective, but a relatively straightforward forensic job due to the amount of evidence which is available to investigators. But still, so many questions remain at this point about what exactly happened to cause this incident, which tragically took 5 lives.
Right, Chris, it was a miracle evacuation for all the passengers on the Japan airline. All 379 passengers and crew, they were able to escape safely. Tell us more about the flawless evacuation and the new technology that played a huge part in the evacuation procedure.
Well, it's interesting you bring up technology, because due to the plane being on fire and filled with gas, some of the technology failed. The intercom, the announcement system over the plane wasn't working, and so reports say that the staff and crew on board had to use megaphones and shout to passengers to give them their instructions to disembark the plane. As we heard from an expert earlier, there are also reports that not all of the slides were able to be deployed and used. Japan Airlines has an incredibly strict and strenuous safety system. The safety video at the beginning of a plane, at the beginning of a flight, does strictly outline what to do in this circumstance of evacuating a plane. It is very strict to passengers, saying that you must not wear high heels on these slides. It could damage them. You must not take baggage with you. It can block the aisle, it can block other passengers, and it can damage the slides. It has instructions about how to help people as they come down the slide after you. In a time when many airlines are trying to make their safety videos more attractive and more interesting, Japan Airlines is very straightforward and very strict. This, experts say, is due to a crash in 1985 of a Japan Airlines flight, and due to Japan's culture of corporate responsibility, especially in admitting failure. It has taken its safety procedures extremely seriously, and it seems to have made all the difference in this case.
Right, Chris, we'll of course be closely tracking the outcomes of the investigation, but thanks very much for joining us here on WION, sharing insights with us.
Thanks, Chris.